So I have always brought a camera with me when I was in the field. And even before I got into biology, I always liked to photograph things. So for a long, long time, I was going to the field and finding these amazing species and just taking pictures of everything I found. And then as I switched into a more like academic focused research, I still kept my camera with me and I was using my camera to do scientific pictures in the field, but also in the lab, and taking macro images of details, of anatomical details. And then all of a sudden, after my PhD, I brought photography as an art again into my tool set, and I'm kind of do both. But I think I've always liked photography, and in a way, it was always a part of my research. Yes, definitely. I've seen changes both in a good way and also in a bad way, and that's usually the case. So, for those who do not know, amphibians are one of the most endangered group of animals, considering all of the groups. It's 40% of the amphibians are in danger in some level, which is like a lot. It's like for every 10 species, 4 are endangered. And I have seen some species get in trouble over the last, let's say, almost 20 years since I got into biology. I've been to places that was full of frogs in streams, and all these streams are pretty silent. I've seen deforestation wipe out populations. I've been to places where there's this one species that only lives in a single place, and there's deforestation around it. There's pollution in the river. So yes, frogs are in a real bad shape, and there are extinctions. Some are very clear, a very clear case of influence of humans for deforestation, and some are unexplained. Some species just vanish, and some are very likely due to emerging infectious diseases as well. But I've seen some good things. I've seen a lot more people interested in conservation. I've seen some places get protected that were not protected a few years ago, and I've seen some more people taking care of their forests or letting the forests regenerate, and in many cases species come back and they rebound and are more abundant, and that's true for many groups, including amphibians as well. There is a lot to be done, both in terms of taxonomy, like there are several new species to be described, amphibians among, let's say, vertebrates, which include mammals and reptiles and fishes. Amphibians are among the groups that have the most potential new species, and especially if you're interested in working in tropical countries such as Brazil or many places in Africa and Southeast Asia and Central America, there are many species to be discovered. That's one thing. And on top of that, for a lot of these species, even the ones that have been described for a long time, we still need a lot of data in natural history, which is their biology. So for a lot of these species, we don't know pretty much anything beyond their names and general characteristics. We don't know what they eat. We don't know when and how they reproduce, how they breed. We don't know how they interact with the environment, how they interact with other species. So there's a lot to be done in terms of taxonomy, ecology, and if you go into like more specialized fields like physiology, and well, there's just diseases and compounds on amphibian skins that could be even useful for our own benefit, like medicine and stuff like that. So there are many avenues of amphibian research that are still wide open and in need of curious, interesting people that want to work with them. Yeah.